durable, meets your needs, sees your needs. This is what we mean by relational. Not one of these is going to be data driven. Now you can talk some product about like the quality of the cotton. You can talk about dry fit, how much does it, when you sweat, how much does it dry, quickness of it. You can do some of that. But community, proud, that stuff is relational. That's the eye of the beholder. When we look at competitors, Adidas, Hoka, Under Armour, New Balance, Asics, what do you think about them? Do you think they have any of these attributes as well? Just probably, yeah, we see this. All right, so then let's look at this. We're going to kind of get into what we call SWOT analysis. Okay. We're going to pretend now we are looking at our marketing efforts. Nike still leading the charge. So now we know that this is some information that's come out about Nike, how the customer feels about Nike. This is why they're operating with it. Now we're going to go over here and go, if I'm Adidas, I need to do a SWOT analysis about Adidas. Like, what are our strengths on our products? What are our weaknesses on our products? What are opportunities when it comes to our products, and what are our threats? So we got to create. So this is kind of what you're going to go through when you're trying to create some value. Okay, so what are some strengths about Adidas? There's no right or wrong. We're just going to throw some stuff out. It's just kind of an exercise.
Adidas has been around for a long time. And they're about like the older generation or something.
Yeah. Longevity. Okay.
Especially popular in the soccer market.
Soccer market, okay. You were saying?
Collaborative.
Collaborative. Okay, what would you say Adidas' strengths are? Maybe one or two more? Popular, okay. Brand recognition. What would you say some of the weaknesses would be with Adidas?
A lot of people aren't like the biggest fan of their styles. It's like all the same, kind of, rather than different.
Okay. What are some other weaknesses that you can think of off the top of your head?
Like the Dogger Nike.
I like that. Underdog
It's good.
Nike.
Also, its dependence is mainly off of sports, rather than people wear them all the time, except for one certain style of shoe.
Yeah. Okay. What would you say some opportunities would be for Adidas?
Make stronger brand ties to other sports people.
Also been working in football.
Okay. Designs, expanding on design. Yeah.
Innovative heritage.
You said innovative
Heritage.
heritage.
Maybe working with younger kids who are income, might be just branch out.
Okay. What would you consider some threats? These can be just industry wide. You don't know that Adidas specifically, you may not know all that. threats. Mine would be like you've got another brand coming on the market that you really like. So it's an evolving
Yeah, fierce
landscape
competition.
of brands.
Increasing smaller companies with that open brand.
What are some of the threats?
It might be, outdated.
Especially if they're logo heavy. Because when you say a lot of their stuff looks the same and it's very,
Or like fast fashion, they don't really necessarily get onto the fast fashion as fast as Nike does or any other companies.
You know, when they do, it's like, they don't have to do much, like, when they have an exclusive drop, there's not a lot of it.
so when I'm thinking of my, let's say I work for Adidas and I'm coming in and I'm assessing the landscape of Nike to Adidas and I can sit there and go, okay, there's certain things I'm not gonna be able to control in this setup. And I'm not gonna pretend to do stuff. But what I can say, but I need to be aware of it. The good news for us is longevity. How do I build upon longevity? How do I create a level of nostalgia, but yet evolve that over time? The soccer market, we talked about, like there's certain markets that are really, how am I building community in those markets? Community was mentioned in Nike, but it wasn't necessarily mentioned here. But it may need to be more segmented. How am I gonna build community? I'm also gonna look at, some of my marketing goals are gonna be, okay, I'm gonna build on Adidas' success. And I'm gonna do that by focusing on the longevity, brand heritage, tell a story for that. Social media. I share all this to say is when you do your SWOT analysis, because we're getting into strategic planning. When you get into a SWOT analysis, this is going to be a key tool for you to develop your goals, your strategic goals, and what are your outcomes when it comes to marketing. So we're just kind of doing that exercise. Just kind of want to have some of those conversations about that. Any questions up to this point? No? Okay, that's really what I planned today. Pretty super simple stuff. So between now and Monday, get your textbook if you don't already. Start reading chapter 1 and 2. Next week we're going to talk about strategic planning. We're talking about certain, like a BC, we'll get into more of those. Don't forget your end of next week, not this week, next week, your discussion posts and your assignments due. End of next week. Okay. So what I'm going to do deadlines every 2 weeks versus every week to help balance out the course load. Okay. Any questions? First, I'm going to have to throw some candy in this room. Next Friday. 1:59 p.m. I'm trying to have some in my office.
What's up, everybody?
Romance today.